My dear friends, my new book, Amazing Grace, Memoirs of a Transformational Journey, has just come out, and I'm incredibly excited and happy because it's been a big labor of love during COVID. And I'm particularly excited because I've always written books about the journey. And I've always, in my profession as a psychotherapist, I'm always listening to other people telling me about their journeys. Now, here is my journey. And I'm going to read a couple of little bits that are the first bits that are funny, that relate to my early childhood. And then I'm going to read a more serious bit later. So here's the funny bit. I start the book. I was born with a silver or gold spoon in my mouth on June 29th, 45, in a hospital in London, situated within the sound of Bow Bells, which technically, someone told me, makes me a Cockney. A Cockney, however, looked after by a big staff. To cater for the requirements of my father, mother, and me, we had 16 servants. 2 cooks, 2 chauffeurs, a butler, 3 gardeners, a groom, 2 cleaning ladies, 2 maids, a nanny who lived to be 109, and later 2 governesses. My father, who identified himself as something of a tough guy, felt that my mother mollycoddled me too much and that I needed introducing to the tough life. I needed manning up. I'm going to introduce you to camping, to things that real men do, he told me when I was about 7. We're going into the wilderness and live in a tent for a few days. I was quite excited at the idea. Well, my tough experience of camping was this. The wilderness was in the field under a big tree near our house. The chauffeur drove us there. The farm manager erected the tent. The maid came and made the camp beds. The cook came and cooked us dinner over the campfire, and the butler served us. In the morning, the chauffeur came with my father's daily papers, after which the cook came again to cook a real fry-up, a real man's breakfast. Afterwards, the groom showed up, bringing my father's horse and my pony, so we could go for a ride together. Yeah, real tough, manly stuff. That's why I'm such an outdoors, manly, self-sufficient fella today. Ha, 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 ha. Right. Now, a bit further on in the book, I had visited and was studying at the Tassajara Zen Center in California. And I came across this wonderful man called Chuang Tzu, who lived about 300 BC, and I studied him. And I talk about Chuang Tzu. Perhaps the most important aspect of the stay at the Tassajara Center was it gave me the time and space to explore the philosophy of Chuang Tzu, whom Suzuki, the great Japanese Zen scholar, declared to be the greatest of all the Chinese philosophers. Chuang Tzu espoused simplicity and humility, and he refused to embrace the aggressivity and self-importance needed in order to get along in society, and which in today's world has run amok. I always wanted to be intoxicated by the wonder and power of nature, he wrote, not to have to work to attain high office. His idea was that there's a natural goodness inside of each of us that simply needed allowing out, as opposed to our always striving to be good, which the moralist taught was the way to an honorable life. For Chuang Tzu, such a life was not attained through the accumulation of virtue and merit, but through Wu Wei, which in Chinese means not doing. In other words, living one's life according to in other words, not living one's life according to consciously laid down plans, which, as you can guess, resonated strongly with me. I loved his idea of wholeness. What he said about the fasting of the heart or the need to empty ourselves touched me enormously. It also confirmed in me the kind of empty space that I aspired to be in when I sat in front of my clients trying to be of some assistance. And I'll just read you a little bit of what Chuang Tzu said. We need to hear, but not just with the ear. We need to hear with the spirit, with our whole being. This hearing is not limited to any one faculties. Hence, it demands the emptiness of all the faculties. And when all the faculties are empty, then the whole being listens, and only then can there be a direct grasp of what is right there before you, which is nothing that can be understood with the mind. Fasting of the heart empties the faculties. It begets unity and freedom. If you can do this, you'll be able to go among men in the world without upsetting them. If they will listen, sing them a song. If not, keep silent. Do not try to break down the door. Just be there among them, because there's nothing else for you to do but be one of them, and then you may have success. If you follow official methods, you'll deceive. In this way, no deception is possible. How true those words are for today's world. This so resonated with me, in particular, the need to move beyond always seeing the world through the lens of our intellectual biases. It allowed me once more to ask myself the most important question, and which over the last years I've been increasingly trying to engage with, namely, how may I live more appropriately? Essentially, what I learned from Chuang Tzu was that an innate goodness of being and an understanding of balance and harmony lies inside each of us. And if we can let go and access it, as opposed to struggling to attain it, then what we need to do or not do at any time will always be made clear. If, on the other hand, we're always striving, it has a kind of self-aggrandizement about it, and its object is annulled. For Chuang Tzu, the truly great person is not someone who has all the answers or who all his life labors to accumulate a great fund of virtue, but rather who has learned how to align themselves with the Tao, T-A-O, which I see as being the intelligent, guiding, grace-bestowing presence in life. So there are two aspects of my little book. Okay.